It's just bound for day. I don't keep too much company.
It's gonna post everything up to this point.
Hell yeah.
I don't follow the North Star. It always
we're live now, so
afar. But you can go ahead and be right there if that's where you think you are. Nobody goes from Broadus to Gary Owens without about 1,000 tales to tell. And what if it don't dry up and blow away sometime before that final bell?
I like it.
So FYI, everything since we started this up until now is gonna be on that video.
Nah, that's all right.
Okay.
We'll be good. I don't think we got anything.
Oh yeah, there's some proprietary information in there.
Well, it'll be all right. Let's see. We got a couple 3 people watching. Couple 2. What's up? What's up, Daylight Burners? How the fuck's it going? Happy Thursday. It is. Yeah, it's bull session day. It's Thursday. I always look forward to these bull sessions, guys. I think it's pretty cool what technology has done. You know, even if you're not a cowhand, if you're like rural type folks like we are, you don't see people a whole hell of a lot. And so it's like usually you see your buddies a couple times a year and that's it. But now I get to sit down with some cool bastards every week and some cool bitches too. We say bitches in the nice way. I hope you guys enjoyed the ladies' bull session last week. I thought it was pretty fun. Luckily, though, all of them had a really good sense of humor because I kind of went pretty hard in the paint on a couple of the women jokes, but they handled it pretty well. But we got what the fuck's your name? Nick and Sam back at it again. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty good.
What's happening? Nick, you
how
doing your thing right now?
I'm doing it live.
Nice. This is we got a real rawhide braider just doing his thing up in her. Yeah, I like the new colored Hondas. Those are sharp looking, man.
Those are selling like hotcakes.
So is that one?
Yeah.
Is that one like a tropical berry Honda?
Yes, it is. I've got
Nice.
string colored to do a red, white, and blue one after this. I'm gonna try that out.
Oh, that'd be
Might
fucking
order me
rad.
a blue raspberry.
What's that?
I'm gonna order me a blue raspberry Honda.
I want the bomb pop, the red, white, and blue. We'll call that the bomb pop.
Mystery.
Yeah.
Those are just white.
That's awesome. Oh, how hot was it over there today, Nick?
About 90 degrees.
Jesus
shit,
Christ,
it was
that's
hotter
how
here.
bored you are. You're talking about the weather.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It was what's still hot. I don't know if you guys can hear the fan in the background, but I decided I don't care about audio quality right now. It is hot in here, but it was 103 yesterday. And it was 53 when I went to work this morning. Full 50-degree temperature swing. As you can imagine, cattle look just excellent. No, nothing sick, but man, they look just fucking rough right now. Yeah, it's dog days of summers. I get kind of spoiled up here in the high desert. It's usually pretty pretty mild, but fuck, it's been hot here the last couple of days.
That's why I'm downstairs. Like I usually probably it's more comfortable upstairs, but today it's like, damn, I'm gonna go sit on a folding chair in the freaking basement.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice for about 2 hours this morning, about 2 hours after sunup, and then it was just gross.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what it is. It is what it is. What do you? How hot was it up in Coeur d'Alene? It doesn't get too
It's
hot.
humid.
Up there,
It's like 95, but it's like humid here. I'm not used to that.
Oof.
This, Montana,
Yeah.
it's like a high mountain desert. So, summer's hot, but it's not like you're breathing in an ocean. Here, it's like, go back inside. It's like the Midwest.
Yeah, humidity sucks.
I'd honestly be, happier where you're at in the desert. In terms of
Yeah,
temperature.
it's a dry heat.
It's a dry.
Just
Don't look at my stoma.
Oh,
But
yeah,
so,
it's Go ahead, Sam.
I was gonna say I love talking about the weather. Don't get me wrong, but weren't we gonna do like which
Sitcom characters you would
yeah.
in a Western movie?
I think this is a good one. Yeah, fuck yeah. So
Sorry, I just feel like
it's
if
not.
we got 6 people listening, they're not gonna want to listen to us talk to the weather. But any
I know it.
talking about
Yeah,
the weather. You.
So I kind of stole this idea from another podcast, but I tweaked it to make it a little more cowboy friendly. But there was like, it was just what character would you switch out of a major movie, like, and who would you replace him with? And you can replace it with anybody. And so I just thought sitcoms with Western movies. So you take the main, or it doesn't have to be the main actor, but any actor out of a Western movie, new or old, and you replace it with any sitcom character. And my first initial thought was Fez from That 70s Show becomes Doc Holliday. I say good day, and I'm your Huckleberry.
Good day. You're a daisy as
Yes.
Oh.
Or you could have Fez as Captain Call from Lonesome Dove, and I am American, by God.
Oh man,
I
think Doc Holliday is better because, like, okay, I think on an existential level, every guy who's seen Tombstone really kind of identified. Like, every guy's like, I'm more of a Doc Holliday than I am a Wyatt.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everybody's like,
No.
I'm Doc Holliday. I'm cheeky and fun, and I'm witty and reckless, and in reality, like, none of us are as cool as Val Kilmer in that movie.
Well, and see, I'm gonna
To make somebody like
figured
Fez, that character is hilarious to me.
that is it's an excellent premise. I know that because I made it up, but also I'm very self-aware that I'm obviously not a Doc Holliday, so I've always identified with Ike Clanton. He's just kind of a drunk weasel, and that's try to how to live my life at all times, just a drunk weasel, and I think I do a pretty good job of it.
Well, you reach for the stars on that one.
I mean, you shoot for the moon, you're gonna land somewhere.
So
That's what I always say.
I mean, like, all right, what if we were to replace the entire cast of That 70s Show with the cast on not Lonesome Dove, on
Tombstone?
That 70 show.
Yeah, That 70s Show with Tombstone. I would say probably Eric Foreman, more of a Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put him in Wyatt Earp territory. Red Foreman's obviously Sam Elliott's character, Virgil Earp.
Yeah, yep. Hands
No
down.
doubt.
What's his name? Hyde would be Johnny Ringo.
Oh yeah, I think so. Actually, Hyde would be a really good Doc Holliday because he's always skirting on the edge of being a scumbag, but at the end, he's a good dude.
Well, then wouldn't it be
So-
funny to have Fez as Johnny Ringo?
That would be good. That would be good. Or, yeah.
It's hard to imagine Fez as any of those characters, though.
But
It
what
really
if he
is.
was?
I just kept, for some reason, after I said that, I kept going back to that. Was it Knocked Up, where Seth Rogen's like dancing or he's waiting at the bar and he's not getting any service, and he's like, "You're gonna feel really shitty when you find out I'm Wilbur Balderrama." I don't know why that kept coming to my head, but I always thought that was such a funny line. It was just kind of a one-off line, but I always laughed my ass off at it.
Forgot about that movie.
It wasn't that good of a movie.
If I were to replace somebody from a movie, I would like to have George Costanza from Seinfeld as Hedley Lamar in Blazing Saddles.
That would be good. That would be a really good one.
Where's my froggy?
It was in the pool. Yeah, that's a good replacement. I was trying to think of somebody to replace Stumpy in Rio Bravo, and
Newman.
Newman would be good. Newman would be good. I also had thought of putting Larry David from, just whether it be George Steinbrenner or as Larry David in Curb Your Enthusiasm as well any John Wayne character.
He played George Steinbrenner in Seinfeld?
Yeah.
That just blew my mind.
Yeah, he played Steinbrenner every time.
That's funny. I didn't know that. Makes sense now.
Yeah. But put Larry David as like any one of John Wayne's characters. It'd be fucking hilarious.
God, now I'm just trying to think of a line.
I don't even know any Larry David lines, but he's just like an old like nervous curmudgeon, and just the opposite of John Wayne, and it'd be so funny.
So John Wayne, like I inhaled his movies as a kid, and I just watch them over and over again as an adult, and he's a rarity to me because like he hit this like I don't fucking care stage in his acting career where he knew he was like the guy, and
yeah, you
can just kind of see it in the way he acts in those movies. So like for example, Sons of Katie Elder, my favorite. He just like you got three cowboys walking in a line. You got John Wayne, Dean Martin, and the other fellas. I don't know their names. And they're sitting there, walking into the bank, right? And John Wayne, they're all walking in the line, and John Wayne's like, he's got this weird pace to him, like he walks with his feet in front, like he's strutting down a runway almost, and he just doesn't fucking care. That's who he is. In every single movie, he walks that way. So people talk about him, they're like, John Wayne gets off his horse and walks like that. No, he doesn't walk like that. He walks like he's strutting. I don't know.
Yeah, and he knew he was the shit. That's for sure. And that was part of like because he wasn't that good of an actor. I mean, we can just say that he really wasn't
in the conventional sense.
No, but you bought into John Wayne the character. I mean, like he was the man. He was like the ultimate like Western guy. I don't know.
It didn't. What the plot or the story was, people went to go see John Wayne be John Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you had to put a pretty crafty story around it for it to be remembered, because you weren't there for the story, you were there for John Wayne.
With the exception of like Rooster Cogburn, can you really remember any of the names he wore in any of those movies?
Rooster Cogburn, Will Anderson. Those are the only two that I can remember
The
right
rest
off
of
the
them,
top
it's
of my
like
head.
John Wayne in blank, John Wayne in this, John Wayne in that.
Yeah, but True Grit was a great story. The Cowboys was a great story, and they both fit John Wayne perfectly. I was
guess
a big fan of, still a big
Big
fan
Jake,
of
probably.
yeah. I'm still a big fan of the new True Grit. I thought Jeff Bridges played a excellent version of Rooster Cogburn. It was just a different version of Rooster
Yeah, in
Cogburn.
its own right.
And
I saw the
and
new
Jeff
one,
Bridges won.
and I thought it was better.
I heard that a lot. I just can't. I like John Wayne, so like
I
that's
treat
always gonna be my
I
favorite.
treat remakes like I treat cover songs. You know, like if one of my favorite bands covers an old song, take for example Chris Stapleton did Tennessee Whiskey, which is originally a David Allan Coe song written by him, played by George Jones. I put them on their own playing field because you just can't. You know, a shallow person can be like, "Oh, this one's better." It's like, well, that's your preference, but let's talk about their version of this song or their version of this movie. Like,
well, I think
different.
there's one consensus cover song that is beyond like 100 times more than the original.
Do it.
All Along the Watchtower, Jimi Hendrix is 1,000 times better than Bob Dylan.
Did you?
Every day of the week.
I was tensing up, waiting for you to say Darius Rucker Wagonwheel.
I thought I could see your suspense, and I almost bought into it, but no, I love Bob Dylan, and I don't particularly like his version of All Along the Watchtower. It's all right. Jimi Hendrix, that All Along the Watchtower, I could listen to that on loop for hours on end. That's a great cover. That I think right off the top of my head, that's the only song I can think of that the cover is far superior to the original. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Sam?
Hendrix is great. I just don't listen to a lot of it. I just, you know, the 70s rock didn't really resonate as much with me, and that's okay, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I love classic rock. That's
he's a great player.
Like,
but when it comes to classic rock, I listen to more like Fleetwood, or I don't know, like 80s hair metal.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
AC/DC.
You were. I loved AC/DC. Well, you only have to love one AC/DC song, and you'll love all of them because they sound the same. But they rocked it, they owned it, and they're one of the best rock bands ever. So, Angus Young shredding a guitar solo doesn't get much better than that.
I'm trying to get JT on the podcast. You guys seen him in the Bull session, right? In the group?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he runs the research ranch from University or Montana State University.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
he's a
bring
good
him
buddy.
on. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Send him the link.
So, if Larry David could swap out any John Wayne character, who would it be?
Big Jake.
Big Jake. Oh, fuck. That's a good one. God damn it.
Right?
Larry David is Big Jake.
Right? All these guys like riding their motorcycles, trying to catch up to Larry David.
Larry David as a Green Beret would be pretty good too. I mean,
that'd be a good one too.
I mean, I know we were going westerns, but yeah, can you imagine Larry David as John Wayne in the Green Berets? Oh fuck!
That's some funny shit.
Yeah. So what's one of your sitcom characters you would replace in a western, Nick?
I'm going with Kramer from Seinfeld as Dean Martin's character in Rio Bravo.
Oh, that's
Because-
a great character.
I just think that he would play a drunk fucking perfectly. The way he used
I think
to
he'd play it way better than Dean Martin.
probably.
He'd honestly do it well in Sons of Katie Elder too, as Dean Martin, because like, you know the scene where he's like trying to auction off the eyeball.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine Kramer doing that?
Oh, that would be so
gold.
good.
It's like a
Well,
perfect fit.
And like, there's Dean Martin plays a great role in Rio Bravo, but
Yeah.
like he's not a convincing drunk. He's just not. Like I love his character, but he's not a convincing drunk. Yeah, I think Kramer would sell that shit.
Did you guys ever?
Coming from some people in glass houses.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the episode where the little person, Sam, and Kramer were doing like studies with the hospital
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
about diseases, and they were like fighting over like chlamydia or syphilis or something like that?
Yeah,
The way-
because they were acting.
Yeah,
Is that the
They
one where
were
he saw
act-
the pig man?
I don't know if that was the same one or not. Now this one, they weren't actually at they were at a hospital, but they were acting as patients for interns.
yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, and Kramer and this midget were competing over roles, and he's like, chlamydia again,
Like
Or-
something Van Nostrand was his like stage name.
Yeah, I think so.
I've seen
All
that
right,
in
so-
a while.
That's good.
Going along
That's good.
that same route, little more modern in the sitcom era. Danny DeVito, Frank Reynolds. Who does he replace?
Oh man. Owen Wilson in Wild Wild West.
You could replace him as Owen Wilson in Shanghai Noon too, and that would be hilarious.
Wait, Owen Wilson wasn't in Wild Wild West.
No,
No.
No,
was,
That's-
I actually
probably what
never
I
saw
meant.
Wild Wild West, but
that's Will Smith and fuck, I don't even remember that other guy's name.
It was yeah. Kind of looks like an.
I don't know.
older-
I actually never saw Wild Wild West. I was just rolling with it because I was picturing.
You never watched
I was
TBS?
Yeah,
I don't know how many times I changed the channel because that movie was on, but yeah, I rolled with it because I could picture Danny DeVito playing Luke Wilson's character in Shanghai Noon, and that would be goddamn hilarious. Seeing Danny DeVito try to do kung fu and shit.
oh god, yeah, that would be grand.
You could just make a movie out of that. Him like trying to dig himself out of the, when they bury him up to his head and give him chopsticks to dig out with. Like that, Danny DeVito would make that so goddamn funny.
Wouldn't take near as long to put him in the ground though.
No, well, you'd have to dig a way wider hole, which is
Yeah.
not near as deep.
It's easy to widen a hole. It's more difficult to dig down.
Yeah, it would be a lot easier to go with Danny DeVito burying him. I mean, yeah, it's no big deal to add 2 foot across, but going another 2 foot deep, that's a solid point.
All right, Ted
Uh,
Mosby as Bill Money in Unforgiven.
Ted Mosby,
Wow.
that is
Rip.
that
That's How I
Much
Met Your
Mother?
Mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
As Will Money. That's pretty good too. You could also go with
I
Marshall.
don't really do that anymore,
It's-
guys. Like,
You could also do Marshall as Will Money, and that would be equally hilarious.
well, let me ask Lily if I can kill
Lily's
I mean,
Lily's
see,
the pig.
Here's the thing: is like I've killed every living thing that's walked at some point or another. I don't know. Oh, that's awesome. I had another good one. Fuck, what was it? It was gonna be Archie Bunker as some. Oh, I also said George Costanza as Jebediah Nightlinger in blackface. How funny would that be? George Costanza trying to act tough as a black dude to a bunch of Old West kids.
Okay, I don't know if this classifies as Western or not, but also George Costanza as Hugh Glass in The Revenant.
Oh God.
Oh
Yeah,
Or Kramer. Any of
uh,
the Seinfeld people. Jerry Seinfeld not being able to talk for 2.5 hours because he had his throat ripped out by a grizzly bear.
Danny DeVito as Frank Reynolds plays Wyatt Earp in Tombstone or any other Wyatt Earp movie.
So I started blasting.
Oh, I'd watch that. I might go watch that in the theater. And I haven't been to the theater in I don't know how long.
Yeah, I think so. Like, we've gotten to this point with specifically Westerns, but most movies as a whole, where they're just remaking them. I want to get to the point, like, if we could hit a fast forward where they start doing parodies of all these old movies. Like, I want to see a parody of, like, well, I guess Magnificent Seven was, like, kind of funny, but maybe, like, I don't know, like a parody of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, you know?
Yeah, like do it like a dramedy.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're serious actors and everything, but like the entire premise is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That could be funny. So I went to a musical here. It was like back in November or something like that. I wasn't real sold on it, but turned out to be a pretty awesome time. And it was called the Play That Didn't Happen, I think, or something like that, or The Play That Went Wrong. And it was just like it was a parody, and so it was kind of like a Monty Python skit almost. And it was fucking hilarious. Like, and it was all, like Broadway style play, and I laughed my ass off. So if you could do something like that as a Western, yes, like take my money now. I'll go watch that.
I watched that all day.
Yeah, and like you get somebody like your actors cannot ride a horse to save their life, but they have to keep like a stern face as they're loping along, like falling off to the side, but they can't change facial expressions.
They got a kid saddle for Danny DeVito. I bet he could do it.
Oh fuck, that'd be yeah. Oh, did
Maybe
I tell
like
you
a
about my new tattoo
real high
idea?
panel. What's that?
So, did I tell you about my new tattoo idea for Gus?
Nope. Oh, you did? Yeah, when we
Okay.
were in Red Lodge, you told me about it.
Yeah. So, Nick, I don't think I've told you this, but you saw the bit that Matt Wilson made for me, right? The Vaquero spurring down a T-Rex. So, I've always wanted to get something Lonesome Dove related as a tattoo for Gus. I was gonna get him kicking a pig, and then I got that bit, and I was like, I'm gonna have to find a good tattoo artist. So if anybody out there who's listening knows a good tattoo artist in Nevada, hit me up. But I'm gonna have a little kid spurring down a pig, and I'll have just it'll say Gus across the back of his belt or something. That's gonna go on my right arm. I think it'd be
You got to
pretty
get somebody to draw
badass.
it out. That'd be
Yeah,
funny.
I think that'd be a cool fucking tattoo.
Have you ever heard the song? I gotta send this to you guys, but there's you guys know who Stephen Lynch is?
I've heard the name.
He's a singing comedian. He's got a couple stand-up specials.
Okay. Okay,
He's got a song called "Queer Tattoo." It is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
Like he's got a he just makes fun of tattoos. He's got the line. I'm learning it right now, which is why it's relevant. It came to my mind. He's like, got that line. He's like, you got a Tweety bird, you got a school mascot, you got a Hello Kitty. Tell you what you've got. You've got a queer tattoo. You think that honor, or you think that symbol in Japanese means strength or honor? Honky, please. That's a queer tattoo.
means potato. Yeah, Corb did a cowboy poetry style one about bad tattoos on his latest album. Yeah, it's called The Tattoos Blues, and he even says at the end, "No regrets."
No regret.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, he did kind of like a finger picking riff, and then he'd like stop and go into like like Elko style cowboy poetry. He'd recite it, and then like in between stanzas, he'd go back into his little blues riff, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Tattoos Blues, no regrets.
No regrets. Really? Not even one?
Not even one. Well, we should probably pour one out for Kanye. He already dropped out. Damn it! I was really riding. I was riding Yeezy's coattails to glory on that one. Damn it!
I wanted some Yeezy sneakers that were a cross between Yeezys and Air Force Ones.
What's kind of scary is if it was a normal election year without all the COVID bullshit, and he could like just throw a campaign rally at every one of his concerts, Kanye could probably be president. I mean, to be 100% honest.
It's funny. I think everybody says it's like every 4 years Jon Stewart would run for president, or Stephen Colbert, or any of those guys. But
yeah.
And then Trump did it twice. He ran for president 2 times. And
yeah.
What ended up happening is he just didn't quit. He just had the follow through. So all these guys, like all these Hollywood guys, I think they say, I can do this, I'm going to do this, and then they expect it to happen for them. And then they got to pay all this money. It gets really expensive. There's a lot of work involved. And then they fall out. But I think Trump just had either he had the follow through, or he had a team that had the follow through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I was saying, is Kanye wouldn't have to say a whole lot. Like he could put out about 10, 15 bullet points of stuff he wants to do, and then just drop a sick beat and do it, and just straight into a Kanye concert. Like he would out Trump on the campaign rallies.
He moved to
it's
Wyoming.
Yeah.
There's no income tax in Wyoming.
Well, and then he's also a church too. That's what I'm saying. Like, we got to get on this Burning Daylight church deal. That way we can be tax exempt.
Oh, you're not doing it for the religious reasons. I'm cool with that.
Matt, when you start pulling in that kind of money, I want to cut.
Well, I'll baptize you in the
write-off, not a tax deductible.
I'll baptize you in the banquet beer, and you'll be in the
Church of the Banquet.
apostlehood of the Church of Burning Daylight. I mean, that's kind of what Joseph Smith did. I mean, that shit had worked for him, so might as well.
In the name of the Coors, Keystone, Rainier, and Bud.
So we talked about this a couple weeks ago on the Bull Session. It'd be we fervently believe in capitalism and Lonesome Dove, and those are the two pillars of the Church of Burning Daylight. Capitalism and Lonesome Dove.
I can get behind that. I mean, I already
We could
believe
put Coors Banquet as the third pillar. We have the tripod. Hey, there we go. We got the Holy
Hey.
Trinity there.
I've bought into worse.
You're tithing. It means like when it's your turn to bring beer, bring beer.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like it's on a rotation system. It's your turn to bring beer. All right, you're not bringing beer. Heresy. You're out. Excommunicate him.
Go to the box.
You must say 5.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You must
say
go to the nearest Albertsons and wear a mask.
and say 5 Captain Calls and 4 Augustus McCrae's. And maybe 1 Pocampo.
Okay.
Yeah, for the true heretics that go like full commie and then want back in, like, now you've got to go like the full Pocampo. You take your wife and you put her in hell where you send her. That's how you get back in. But those are only for like the commies that saw the light and then want to come back. Like, we can't trust you very much because you were a commie. So
Goodbye,
yeah,
wife.
probably gonna have to kill your wife. Sorry about your bad luck, man.
Somebody's got to do
That's
it.
what happens. Well, I mean, it's gonna happen either way, whether you whether you came back from commie or not. Like, it was gonna happen.
Wives against communists.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I've been as to more to tune out the current day situation, and also because I'm very deep into this Mormon research right now, so I figured like I need to just get back at it so I can put out a detailed episode here pretty soon. Shit is fucking crazy, man. Like that whole Mormon story is fucking wild. Like, all of it is wild.
Oh yeah. They've got some serious history.
It's crazy because like the Mormons are known for their record keeping. I was actually like it's in their I can't remember if it's in the Articles of Faith or like the Doctrines and Covenants, but it's like in the holy texts to keep good genealogy, keep good records. But of course it's all slanted in favor of the church. And then they were so hated at the time that there's also almost equally as much research on the opposing side of people just telling you like how big of quacks these people are. And then you've got to just like, there's very few kind of unbiased sources that just look at it and say like what actually happened here. Like, it's all either Joseph Smith is the prophet of God and everything he did was great, or Joseph Smith is a cult leader and fuck that guy and he's terrible. And so you gotta there's only a couple authors I've found that kind of play it right down the middle and just tell you actually what happened. But either way, it's a fascinating journey.
Man, that's like, you ever seen that show? What was the show? Hell on Wheels.
Yep,
That was the first
it's a great show.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like it was kind of underrated as it was coming out, and AMC was it's a network that was basically defined by Walking Dead, so nobody really cared about anything but that. But the show itself, as time goes on, I think is going to be like regarded as more of like a type historical record, because the way they portray the Mormons in that isn't necessarily derogatory. I wouldn't say it's like
No.
I wouldn't say it's derogatory, but it's freaking brutal. Like,
Yeah,
they weren't-
well, and it was accurate.
they don't portray the Mormons in that show like my neighbors over here, who are not like these peaceful, nice, hey, how you doing, neighbor type
Yeah.
people. They're like this type of Clint Eastwood, get off my fucking lawn people.
Yeah. So yeah, within and they called them Mormon forts because like all their settlements, they built it like a fort. So
Yeah.
They might not have a wall around their property, but they would have the house,
It was
the
defensible.
shed, the barn, and they'd have basically a mini fort.
Yeah.
But they were also some of the only white settlers to actually try to get along with the Indian population as well. So
Which didn't
that,
always happen.
That was no, not always, but it also made the government hate them even more because the government's at war with the Indians and they're not real fond of the Mormons, and then the Mormons team up with the Indians a lot. And so then that made them really hate the Mormons. And so there's this podcast I've been listening to. Get ready for this one. It's a doozy. But and no shit, before you make any judgments, I won't even tell you it yet, so you can't make any judgments. It's a really good podcast, like as far as Mormon history goes. It's very like church slanted. But it's very informative. But it's called The Feminist Mormon Housewives. I shit you not. I shit you not.
I have no comment.
So it seems like just a giant paradox, all in one right there. But whatever. So it started out, I guess, with these is it basically the Mormon version of the hen session. But then they started diving into the issue of polygamy, or as the Mormons call it, plural or celestial marriage. And so then this one chick ended up doing like a whole year's worth of podcasts on polygamy and like the history of polygamy through the church. And it's pretty fucking fascinating. She does a good job on it. So the name of the podcast is really weird, but not bad. But she also, the Year of Polygamy is like an offshoot podcast at this point because she, I don't know how many years she did it, but she did 365 days or 365 episodes of it.
Holy crap.
But it starts like at the beginning, like all the way through till like the fundamentalist Mormons and like Warren Jeffs and all those crazy fuckers. So yeah, it's wild, but yeah, feminist Mormon housewives.
I'll have to ask my boss about that.
Yeah, is he a Mormon?
He was raised Mormon. I don't know if he's still
okay.
Mormon. I talked with him about it. After you put out your first Mormon episode, I told him to take a listen to it, and he liked it quite a bit. He said you were right on the money, so that's good.
Cool.
I
and
asked him about polygamy, and he told me that they believe you have to be married to move on to the afterlife, and that was one of the reasons for marrying multiple women. Like they would marry widows and older women.
So
and stuff.
and they had certain types of marriages, but also like one of the big, and it kind of is what drew a lot of converts to the Mormons is like the thought that you could, because it was a new gospel, or a newly discovered gospel. So there, a couple thousand years later, nobody had heard it before. So you could be sealed to your ancestors, and they could be saved, even though they never heard the gospel because of whatever. I don't know what the justification was, but that was one of the big selling points. But because of that, so yeah, like a widower, they like Brigham Young did that. Like he had 50 something wives, I think. But there was like 20 or 25 of them that were all like old widow women. And it basically was like, all right, well, you're under my care now. You'll have your own place or whatever, and you'll be sealed to me for for time. But like the ones that he took to bed were sealed for time and eternity. And yeah, it's a whole weird thing. I don't understand it, but I can see what the appeal was at the time.
I kind of think, and this is just my raised Catholic brain, is that they took a page from the book of Catholicism and took it a step further. Like when you're, Catholic, you're supposed to supposed to copulate and make more Catholics, right? And then you take a vow. When you take a vow to get married, you tell the church, and you literally sign a legal document saying that you'll raise them in the Catholic Church. I would know.
But I guess one of the other things that was kind of set them apart from. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You cut me off. You tell me to stop.
No. I just wanted to add on to your point, but go. So finish yours.
My point is that the Catholics want to do that to get more Catholic, to make more Catholics. And I would say that the Mormons have, built a theology or a ideology or this is my suspicion, is that they've built I'm going to try and say this the least offensive way possible, that the hierarchy has found a way to make more Mormons, right?
Baby farms.
And I'm a Catholic, and I totally believe that the Catholic Church did that simply in the interest of having more Catholics on the earth. And I would say
I think
the same thing, just in a different way.
I think you're probably right. But one of the other things that was kind of that set the Mormons apart is like it's not so much the missionary work, because every religion has their missionaries, but like your typical Christian missionary is to go into the world, spread the gospel, convert people, and and that's it, and just keep on going. The Mormons, especially in the early Mormons, it was go out and proselytize, preach the gospel, convert Mormons, and bring them to Utah, because we are building the new Jerusalem, is what their new Israel, because they took like Catholicism and Judaism, which Catholicism was just the one step past, or it was building on Judaism. Yeah, and so then it's like then you got the Mormons that are like taking it one step further by bringing it back to the Israelites and just and like you said, making more Mormons. And I don't know, it's
out of all
like
of them,
the
goal, right? Like there's all these religions, you just want to make more of yours, right? So how do you do that?
Yeah, and
you either make it more appealing, or you indoctrinate more, or you create more. There's three avenues. I think the Christians have done those, and Mormons have done
the Mormons were known to be very very arrogant about being the chosen people of God, and
I
they
don't
also
know, for the record, any arrogant Mormons.
I don't either, but at the time, the early Mormon church, this was one of the big deals, was they were very arrogant about, especially in Missouri, because Joseph Smith had a revelation that the new Jerusalem was going to be in Jackson County, Missouri, Independence, Missouri area. And the people that were already in Independence, Missouri are like, no, we live here already. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter. We're the chosen people of God. And they're like, but we already live here. And and then he was like, also, all my followers are going to vote exactly how I tell them to. And that's when shit got violent. And then they got pushed out of Missouri. And then that's kind of the same thing. So like they wanted to have a theocracy. And what they did up until really until the Transcontinental Railroad was finished. That was kind of the undoing of the Mormon theocracy. I mean, they still have a very heavy influence in Utah, but they don't have like Brigham Young. He had a hand in everything in early
I've heard
Utah.
Like I've applied for jobs in Salt Lake and stuff. And I've got friends who've worked there, and they're like, "Don't even bother if you're not Mormon."
Mm-hmm.
They just say like, "Yeah, you're probably qualified, but you will get beat out by somebody who's in the church." So
yeah,
there's a lot of jobs there, a lot of opportunity there that you just have to either be the best person for it or a Mormon. And that's scuttlebutt. There's nothing proven there, but I've been discouraged from moving to Utah. So, which I'd love to live in Utah. It's beautiful there.
There's
yeah.
the The Mormons are big in the cattle business too.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were one of the big or they were some of the first ranchers that brought cattle out west, other than like the old Spaniard cattle that were running wild, but yeah, well they were some of the first settlers, they had there was people in Oregon and California, but the Great Basin was nothing but Indians and a couple, trapper outposts like Fort Bridger and then like Fort Bent down in southeast Colorado, but like there was that was about it. There was Santa Fe and San Francisco, and then the Willamette Valley, and then everything else was just kind of wide open. There might be a couple outposts here and there, but they they were left from Nauvoo, Illinois, to Salt Lake City is where the first wagon train ended. And it took them a month to go 100 miles across Iowa. It was so muddy and shit. They thought they were going to make it like most of the way to Wyoming in the first summer. And then like they were going to camp like at the foot of the Rockies and then, wait it out till spring and then and then head on over the rim. Yeah, it took them a month to go 100 miles across Iowa, and they ended up camping for the winter at the Iowa-Nebraska border, and they had a rough winter, like real rough winter, and I don't know, it's not hard to see why like those early Mormons were so like devoted, I guess, or zealous or maniacal almost. But like they would have, one of their prophets would have a vision, whether he, probably was keeping tabs on the outside world a lot better than your average Mormon, and was reading into like current events and making his, revelations based on that, or if you believe the whole deal that they actually had these revelations. But like some of the stuff that they said would happen happened. Like Brigham Young prophesied, or not, I didn't prophesy. He predicted that South Carolina would secede and cause a civil war. He probably read the current events and the political landscape, but it was a smart move. But then there was like the plague of locusts. Had a whole bunch of grasshoppers getting ready to wipe out their entire crops, and then out of nowhere, here come a bunch of seagulls and wipe out these grasshoppers, and they're like, "Oh, it's a sign from God." So like, yeah, they're like, "I'm Mormon for life now, buddy. Fuck you." I'm listening to Brother Brigham, so I think there's a whole bunch of those type of things that, like when you look at it from their point of view in back in the day, you're like, yeah, I see why they were so devoted. Oh,
yeah.
There's some funny comments going on here.
Speaking of,
did you read Brett Stanley's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with it completely. He should have married the Mormon guy.
You know what? It would have saved half the damn storyline if he would have.
Yeah.
And that other person he went after decided to pretend to be a man for a while, like, yeah, it says something about Bohannon. Maybe he wasn't meant to go after the Mormon girl.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. Dude was badass.
Yeah.
My boss, he's we were talking the other day, he's going to start going out to feed yards here in Kansas and kind of go head hunting and trying to get us some new customers. And we were talking about it the other afternoon. I told him, I said, that'd be a grand idea. Seems like it might be difficult. It would be difficult for me. I'm not good at meeting new people and trying to sell them new ideas or new ways to do things. But he was like, I used to be a missionary. Being Mormon, I had to go on mission trips. And I was like, oh, yeah. But it's a hell of a lot harder to sell religion than it is fucking cattle. And he was like, yeah, I'm pretty used to having doors slammed in my face. Like, well, have at it, boss.
Yeah, it's I guess if you're a Mormon missionary, you're kind of used to rejection.
I've said no to a couple of them.
Yeah, I have too. Elder, whatever.
Oh, they're nice people. It's the Jehovah's that don't leave me alone.
Yeah, the Jehovah's are. Maybe that'll be the next one I dive into. Just freak my wife out completely. She's like, the other day, she's like, I'm not sure which God you pray to anymore after all this Mormon research, but you just say a little prayer. And I was like, well, nothing has changed. I just think the Mormons are fascinating. But like, I don't know if it was the same with you guys in school, in history class, they were talking about the railroad. Like they mentioned how the Chinese built, most of the railroad. There was never any mention of the Mormons and their part.
And the Irish.
And the Irish. Yeah, I think there was like maybe a brief mention of the Irish, if I remember right. But there was no mention of the Mormons. And like Brigham Young had it made in the shade there. He had that contract with both railroad lines to I think he was just grading the path. I don't think they were actually building anything. They were just grading it.
But didn't they?
And
they punched most of the way through the Sierra.
Maybe they did.
I thought
it could have been. I can't remember for sure. But like I was saying earlier, like they had them. Like one of their deal was like not only to go and preach the gospel and bring converts, but it was also like once you had them converted and baptized them and everything, like now get your ass up to Utah. And so they were like all over Europe. Like they had a bunch of English converts, they had a bunch of French converts, all throughout Europe. And then so they'd ship them on over, and Mormons were kind of the original communists. They had a kind of a semi-communal deal going. They called it the United Order, in which everybody would consecrate their property to the church, and then it was basically communism from there. Just to each their need according to their ability to each their need, or whatever the Marxist bullshit is. But part of paying for those new converts to come across the Atlantic was, well, you got to go help build a railroad, motherfucker. So that's the Church of Latter-day Saints is making buku money right now, and you are paying off your debt, buddy. And when you're done, you might get a parcel of land and maybe an extra wife if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. You had to be really good standing within the church.
What happened to Nick?
I'm not sure. He's out though.
He must have finished his Honda.
I guess so. I like those new Hondas. I haven't done ad read yet. I'll probably do that at some point. Fuck it. This episode is brought. Well, first off, we got Jesse Stetson, Jay Stetson, Stetson Ranches, up there in Fromberg, Montana. I'm gonna go ahead and do another ad read after this, so I can go do a full ad read. We're way too far in at this point, but Stetson Ranches and Loma Livestock is who made this whole spectacle available for you today. Thanks, George and the Stetson clan. Yeah.
And
when we doing this?
Stetson Ranches, you can buy an eighth or a quarter of beef.
Yep, all the way up to full beef. I bet you if you really asked and pled your case, they'd let you buy 2 beeves.
The SR sampler is about $400 $450 to $650, depending on cow weight, and contains all kinds of meat, so you can decide what you like.
Yeah, it does. It's awesome.
I'm getting one. That's why I know. Just because I read Jesse's flyer and I'm looking at it going, yep, that's what we're doing this fall.
Heck yeah. Well, Sean, what's up, buddy? You're a little late to the party, but that's all right.
Sean, get on the podcast. Get on here.
You sending him a link?
No. You want me to post this shit in the comments and see what riffraff rolls in?
No. Well, there's only 2 people, so. No,
Yeah.
It's just been too damn hot here lately. Like,
Back to the weather? God, Matt, you must hate me.
No,
I'm boring.
but I don't know if, like, my face feels extremely red right now.
That's what I'm hanging. I know. I've got the AC rolling upstairs. It's still not cooled down. Put the dogs outside.
Yeah,
My dog.
I thought about.
He woke.
I thought.
Go ahead.
I thought about moving this whole thing into the house where we have central air, but there's a lot of shit to carry back in there. So I was
Just get a window mount. You'll be alright.
That's the thing. There's not really any windows in here. There's the doors and that's it. So.
Well, shit.
Yeah. So like, if I could open the door and let a breeze in here real quick, but then there'll just be moths everywhere. Just like, which for most people are they're listening anyways. They don't, we don't have a whole lot of people that tune in, so they wouldn't notice anything. But anybody who caught it live, I'd just be like the Alfred Hitchcocks that did Birds.
That's such a creepy movie.
It is a weird movie.
I want to see a parody remake of that.
I could get into that.
Dogs.
All right, so let's we'll take all restrictions off of type of characters. So any character from any movie or TV show that you would replace in an old western.
Old western. All right.
Yeah, any western. It don't matter.
Let's say. Okay. All right. I'd like to see Arnold Schwarzenegger play Jimmy. The guy from the Far Country. The one I chased the name, I can't find.
Oh, fuck.
Stewart. Jimmy Stewart. Far Country.
That's a good one.
No.
That's a good one.
Get to the tugboat. No.
That's a good one. That's a good. I had mine, and then you couldn't remember Jimmy Stewart's name, so then I was searching my brain for that and lost.
Oh, son of a gun! Don't you blame that shit.
I know.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I put that. Oh, all right. So Ricky Bobby, who would he replace?
Oh man. Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible.
When he's dealing cards, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Oh, all right. So I'm thinking Chris Farley as Will Money.
Falling through the mud.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Or let me really get my thinking cap on now. Let's do Adam Sandler as Kevin Costner in Open Range. I know what you're talking about. We're here. We're just sitting here. We're doing our own thing. You know, we got cows over here on the range. It's legal. What are you doing to me?
That's a good impression.
The other
Sandler.
night did a songwrite for a a couple guys, and we were just doing impressions and stuff, and it was a good time.
How much money is Adam Sandler worth? Like,
so here's how he makes his money. I read an article on this in Forbes. He has a deal with Netflix. He does the last deal he did was a 7-movie deal, and that was like all the way like Ridiculous 6 through Uncut Gems, I think was the deal.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't a very lucrative deal for him, like revenue wise from Netflix. But if you watch any one of those movies, any of them, there are so many freaking products in it, like brand names, products, just product placement. He makes all of his money on other on product placement, or facing.
Yeah,
it's just that's what it is. It's so his Netflix money is almost non-existent, but they're exclusive, so he can make all the money off these brands. So I can't remember what movie it was. One of the more recent ones, just had Coca-Cola in it everywhere.
Yeah.
It wasn't Zohan. That was pre-Netflix.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
it's been a while ago.
So yeah, he. But I was just watching Uncut Gems last night. I didn't make it all the way through, but
how is it?
It's so fast paced. It's like a lot coming at you right in the first hour. Like there's no like when you watch a movie, you know how it like eases you into the movie. Like here's the canonical, here's the state the movie's in, and here's the changing factor and all that. No, it's like you're in the movie, like it's happening and. Everything's going on, and you just got to keep up. And so I made it about halfway through, and there's just a lot of. He plays this like this back alley diamond and gem dealer in New York, and he's going to all these concerts, and got like this side business with maybe prostitution. I don't know. It's a whole deal. So good movie.
I haven't seen it. I've heard it was good. I don't know. I'm so far behind on watching shit. Like we were kind of starting to get caught up on Ozark, and then the Montana trip happened, and then been like playing catch up since then. And now I got to go to Nebraska at the end of September.
Oh, that's right. Getting somebody married.
So, yeah. Shout out to Haley and Chaz. I'll be performing the nuptials.
Are you still going hunting with Jesse and I this fall?
I think so.
Get your tag?
We'll have to. No, I have not yet.
It'll get expensive from here on out.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
I'll get.
I've been talking to Jesse like daily about that Pryor Mountain trip. Unless we go to the Beartooth.
Hell yeah. I've been meaning to. I've just been busy with everything else. But yeah, I think that's got to happen. It's got to happen. But but long story short, I've been on the same episode of Ozark for like 3 weeks now because I keep falling asleep in it.
After Ozark, watch the Amazon show The Spy. Or no, that's a Netflix show. It's with Sacha Baron Cohen. You know Borat?
I watched that. Yeah.
Did you watch it?
One. Yeah.
Freaking awesome. It was hard
That's
for
a
me
good show.
First episode to see him as a serious role.
Yeah, but he did good.
He crushed it.
Yeah, it was good.
And it's the story more than anything that drives the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like you forget that he's Borat, and you just start like listening to the story, and it's awesome.
Yeah, it's a wild story. There's a lot of I think a lot of it is that they portray there as very pro-Israel. Obviously, like there was a lot of shit that went down on both sides, but it's pretty historically accurate. Like as far as the events go, like how they're portrayed is very slanted. But like
they did that. I mean, they portrayed. I feel like once he was on the Syrian side, you know, it was more of a like they humanized them too. They didn't just make them seem like these evil people once he was died.
Yeah. Yeah, they like you could always tell like they're rooting for the Israelis, but they show like the factions within Syria and like they don't portray any of them as like bloodthirsty like
No.
power mongers, you know. They're
They're
all
just
just like they're just like, hey, this is my country, like, and it was pretty good. It's really good actually.
I liked it.
I watched that here. It's been a while ago, but I enjoyed it. I want to watch this Mob deal, and I want to find my most libertarian friends, and we'll like review it and just critique how the government caused every single step of that.
Wait, which one?
It's about the mob in New York. I forget, like Fear City, maybe.
Okay.
It just came out. I started watching it the other day. I shut it off, but yeah, it's like a 3-part miniseries deal. But yeah, I like just like watching the trailer. I was like, well, that was because the government outlawed this. That was because they paid some government person this, so they got the contract. Like the whole trailer. I was like, they're making the mob out to be a bunch of bad guys, which they were. Don't get me wrong, they were a bunch of fucking animals, but the only reason they were in power is because of certain laws and shit. And yeah, it was wild. So like I want to do it with a bunch of like more of the radical libertarians and just break down how the government fucked up everything there.
Someday I gotta tell you my granddad's mob stories, because he worked for the mob in Vegas.
Oh no shit.
But they're not my stories to tell. You know what I mean? So I don't want to do it on a podcast, but I've got some crazy stories to tell you about Binion and some of the Jewish mafia.
He
worked for the
crazy.
in Las Vegas. He was clean. I'll disclaimer that he was totally clean. He worked for the casinos, but he didn't, to my knowledge, kill anybody or do anything unscrupulous. But they're not my stories to tell. That's the only reason I want to put them on a national platform or anything. So.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'll be
some shit that'll make you shiver. I'll tell you that.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing it. Well, you need to get your ass down here and
we're coming.
Play a show.
We're coming.
Perfect.
Yep. Well, January at least. But
hell yeah.
I want to come down and
see
Virginia City. I mean, you sent pictures of that. It looks beautiful.
Virginia City was awesome. Yeah, I got measured for boots. Jake Houston's making me a pair of boots.
Nice.
That's awesome. They're gonna be rad. His guy's got he's renting out a space in a really cool shop right there in downtown VC, which I mean, Virginia City it has not changed since 1876 or whenever it was at its height. Like it's still like boardwalk, clapboard houses, and the very Victorian style. And they've like the whole town is on the historic register, or like the register of historic monuments. The whole town is, and it's just really cool. Like the locals really get into the touristy part of it. So like they have a gunfight every hour at at one of the bars, and like everybody gets into it. It's just they're just like reliving the old west, and it's cool. Like the tour guide on the train was like, now we're in the COVID territory, and you can keep your mask on, but if you do for some reason have to sneeze or something and take it off, you'll smell something really weird, and that's called fresh air, fresh Nevada air, and it will not hurt you at all. He's like this 80-year-old guy, he's been a volunteer tour guide for like 20 years, and it's a cool place. It's a tourist trap if there ever was one, but it's a good one. They got
I got
some
told-
really, really cool stuff.
I got told last night. I was playing at a farmer's market last night, and I got told to wear a mask while I was playing.
Huh.
And I said, I have a medical condition where I'm not allowed to wear a mask while I'm doing strenuous activity. Which that medical condition, if they were to ask me against HIPAA regulations, would just be being a fucking human.
See, well, Sam, you already heard this, but for the listeners out there, my new excuse or medical reason for not wearing a mask is going to be erectile dysfunction, and I just want to see how awkward it's going to get.
I'm sorry, I can't wear a mask. I have ED. Like,
dude, I'm just as embarrassed as you are. I'm scared right now, but I can't wear a mask because my dick doesn't work. God damn it!
I put this mask on. My dick.
I will never have kids again if I put a mask on. I don't even want any more kids, but I want that option.
Damn you, COVID! You've taken everything away from me.
First you take the economy, now you took my sex life.
I thought COVID was hard. Turns out it's really placid.
Well, and I just want to see him try to prove that I'm not. Like, hopefully it's a hot nurse, but, like, prove. And then if they,
get your HIPAA pants
on,
and then hold up your hand.
No. It's a Christmas miracle. It works.
Woo. All right, I won't wear the mask.
Oh shit. Should I be wearing a mask for this, or I don't know how this goes.
Don't worry.
We both wear masks. No. Let's make it real naughty. We both don't wear masks.
For anything.
Oh fuck. Yeah.
So how long do you think it'll take Post Malone to become a Mormon? That's why I didn't ask earlier.
Oh. Well, they were on mushrooms during that podcast with Rogan. Mm-hmm. So, okay. I don't know. I could see him being a Mormon.
I could too. He's so nice.
Fundamentalist Mormon though, because if you go back to the early teachings, like the whole no hot drinks, no caffeine and no alcohol didn't come till like 1860-ish, I think. I've read a lot of Mormon books here lately, but
have you read the Book of Mormon?
No, not yet.
You've read all the books about Mormons except the one that you can take from a hotel room.
Well, I'm going with the interesting ones first, all right? I'm sorry, Mormons. I did.
Sure you are.
I totally meant that, but I really didn't mean to offend you.
Meant the words, not the meaning.
That's right. Yeah, they're like the early ones. They drank wine and shit, but then it was like it was when I think it was during the Mormon Reformation is when the whole edict came down from Brother Brigham about how caffeine's bad, alcohol's bad, hot drinks are bad. The whole silk underwear, all like the weird.
Wait, silk underwear?
Yeah, but it's like long underwear, like union suit long underwear, I think.
Oh no, hold on. Okay, I thought you meant silk underwear was bad. I was like, I thought they wore silk underwear.
No. That's like, but when it became mandated, that was during like the Mormon Reformation.
Oh, don't you say that M word.
Yeah.
No, hot and bothered.
And but yeah, the early ones, they had dances and shit too. Like even Brigham Young was a big dancer apparently.
So speaking of mandates, sorry I keep jumping us all around over the place, but
Are you about to trigger me? God damn it.
I want to discuss something with you.
Okay.
So the mask mandate in your state came from the governor,
Mhm.
correct?
Yep.
Yeah, the mask mandate in Washington came from the governor. Fuck you, Jay Inslee, by the way, if you're listening.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Told you.
Fuck Steve
Uh,
Sisolak, too.
Hey, Jay, Steve, nobody likes you. Your whole state's going to vote you out soon. See ya.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, fuck off.
the I'm not a Washington resident anyways, but their politics affects us a lot. So Idaho, our governor Brad Little said it's up to the cities, and the mayor of the town I live in, Coeur d'Alene, said no, we're not going to mandate masks. So the health
And
board,
you're like the yuppie town of
Yeah.
Idaho too. Like
I
it's
mean-
like Boise and Coeur d'Alene are like the two yuppie towns in
yeah,
Idaho.
pretty much. I'd say Boise's a little worse than us.
Yeah,
just
and
based-
what's the other one, like Sun Valley or
Sun
something
Valley,
like
but
that?
they're like a
It's
they're
a retirement community, ain't it?
it's where like Arnold Schwarzenegger lives half the year. You know, like
Yeah,
places
yeah.
we don't really consider them, but I say we like I've lived here my whole life. I've lived here 2 years.
Yeah.
But Coeur d'Alene, yeah, it's a tourist town, heavily tourist town, much
Yeah.
like Rapid City or Spearfish, South Dakota. But so that's kind of our dichotomy. People that actually live here year round are very
You're the Aspen or the Vale of Idaho. right?
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll work. So, where was it going with this? So they said the mayors. Brad Little was like, yeah, the mayors can do what they want, mandate masks and whatever, county commissioners, whatever. So the Kootenai County is where I live. Health board. 4 out of 6 of them voted in favor of masks. So now, a health board can make laws.
Huh.
That's what I want to know. Since when can these unelected health board officials make laws for the entirety of the county?
Yeah, well,
They can't-
it's been that way for a while. It just
They can't
now
fucking-
spread down to the state level. Yeah, but you look at all right. So
Elected can't make a law. Am I not wrong there?
no, you're not wrong at all.
Yeah.
And even the governor really cannot make that law anyhow.
No.
Like Brad Little did it right. Yeah, it's up to the cities. So
Yeah.
that'd be like your city council, your county commissioners, all that. They
Mayor.
would decide. Yeah, mayor. But even the mayor,
No.
even the mayor should have to go to city council, and because he's the executive of the city government. So you have your municipal court, which enforces city law. You have the city or county commissioners, city council, whatever that is, that writes the city law, county law, and then you have the mayor who executes the city law.
But the county
The
health
mayor-
advisory board.
Yeah,
Come on.
appointed officials. Yeah, it's the same way. But I went off on a rant here, I guess the last episode. So the Supreme
Every
Court
episode.
ruled in favor of Steve Sisolak, saying that a church can have no more than 50 participants.
Which is bullshit.
And 5 out of the 9 Supreme Court justices of the fucking United States, not Nevada, the United States, decided that the governor of Nevada can put caps on how many people can attend a religious service. The First Amendment of the Constitution of the United States says Congress shall make no law establishing a religion or restricting the free exercise thereof.
Yeah.
50 people maximum in the state of Nevada. that seems like restricting the free exercise thereof.
Oh yeah, that's unconstitutional, and
Yep.
the Supreme Court is in error.
Yeah, and it's I don't know how you fight that other than just going to church. I've
Somebody,
not wanted to go to church one time in the last year, but I want to go to church now just on the off chance that I'm member number 51.
somebody's pushing us to our moral limits right now. Somebody somewhere is just pushing the fucking envelope and saying, what can I get away with?
Yeah, and I don't think it's so much to get rid of religion. I think it's just for some reason Trump has struck a nerve.
Oh yeah,
And
since day one.
yeah, and like you can watch the media like, and Trump plays it perfectly because he knows how to read a crowd and everything. So he takes the extreme side of a popular position, and the media and the Democrats just knee jerk oppose him at that.
They're reactionary, yeah.
Yeah, but they take such a and just I guess it's just by their nature and how like crazy that leadership is, because like your average Democrat's not all that crazy.
Yeah.
Your average one.
But we're entering the dark years of Democrat leadership because
Yeah.
like this year is an example, and last year, they just have no rational choice. Like they peaked at Obama. They peaked.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they peaked hard too. Like,
and then they didn't have anybody in the wings to back that shit up.
Nobody on the bench.
No.
Yeah. Your closer went a good solid 7 1/3, but he ain't got the gas to finish it out, and your bullpen's used up, motherfuckers.
Your bullpen's full of Bidens.
Yeah, you got Biden on the bench.
Put me in.
Yeah, he's gonna give up dinger after dinger because he is just floating that fastball right over the heart of the plate.
What a joke.
But I don't know, like there's something about Trump that they hate so much, and it's not a policy issue. You look at the policies that
can see what it is that they hate, but
it's I really think it's because he doesn't back down from him. Like whether he's right or not, he just doesn't back down from him.
I mean, if I was a conspiracy guy too, I'd be so. Take your average businessman of a large conglomerate. They didn't get there for taking a side. They got there from hedging their bets, right? Which means that they're probably got one foot in both camps. Whether it's oil, whether it's corn, whatever lobby it is, they probably didn't get there by just being a purist. They've hedged their bets like any good investor would. So my guess with Trump is that he doesn't have to take money from people. He doesn't want to. And he doesn't like, and his personality, everything, he doesn't like being beholden to anybody. He doesn't like having a thumb on top of his forehead. Yeah. So I'm guessing that's why he's pissed a lot of people off in both camps. He's got these lobbyists supporting him, and and then he said, like, I'm going to do what's right for me, what's right. I'm going to do what I want, basically. Whatever I tweet is what he's going to do. But I'm guessing that's what pissed a lot of people off. And so now there's people on both sides coming after him. Right?
Well, yeah, and also he has never pandered to the far left. That's one thing. Yeah. I think that's really where a lot of this shit comes from. Is like George W. would lay down some sort of bullshit to pander to the far left. Obama pander to the far left all the time. He doesn't follow through on it, but he spoke nice things about him. Trump doesn't.
That's what I
Uh,
like about him is he doesn't fucking pander. I mean,
I know he doesn't follow through on anything, but like
they're
his
building a wall.
rhetoric,
It's happening.
yeah, kinda.
It's. Don't you watch those? You're on TikTok. Those ones like detecting Mexicans.
their algorithm is really good because everything they put in my timeline is hilarious, and so I like everything. So
Yeah, good on you, China. No,
Yeah.
that's what I remember hating though around the election before Obama. It was like it was my first time voting, and I was going to do it open-eyed and just just totally, I don't know, clear head. I was a brand new voter, and I had gotten done with 8 years of Bush being just beaten over the head by the media, and I just remember thinking, like, I can't wait till we have a president that makes decisions not because of what the media thinks or what the public thinks, but what's good for us. Like, not what's popular, and is able to make a tough decision, even if it's going to lash back on him.
yeah,
And so when Trump came around, I mean, like Romney, and then I had 4 years of Obama, and I was like, okay, well, Romney is kind of a dud. So, but, and I liked Obama for what he was. He was charismatic and he restored some of our nation's, I'd say he restored some of our nation's integrity from a visual standpoint. But when it came to Trump, I said, damn, there's this guy who doesn't give a shit. Like, he's just going to send it. He's Leroy Jenkins.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Leroy,
I fucking love
Leroy
that.
Jenkins.
I was like,
sends
he's
it
Leroy
hard.
Jenkins right now. And who doesn't
Leroy
love
Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins?
Oh man, if you don't know who Leroy Jenkins is, you need to get in the Burning Daylight Bull Session
Yeah.
group on Facebook. Leroy don't give a fuck. That's my cousin.
Well,
he don't give a fuck.
Historically, Leroy, historically Leroy Jenkins story, right? Like about of the internet. Like Leroy Jenkins is wait, your cousin's name is actually Leroy Jenkins?
No, that's just his. He changes his name from time to time
okay.
Because his mom bitches about him for posting inappropriate content.
There is an entire lore online to the name Leroy Jenkins that it's just all about fucking sending it. Just sending it, not giving a
Yeah.
shit. So, that's kind of what he was to me. And I just, I think, and I feel like a lot of the country thinks, is like I'm just tired of people kowtowing to the media and just like, oh well, I gotta get likes, so I can't say this, and I gotta let's back up and talk about like what we need to do. And
Yeah.
that's not me agreeing with everything Trump's done or said, but I like that aspect of he just doesn't it removes that barrier of I need to please the media, I need to please the general populace, and he still got elected, which is crazy to me. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know. I think they're starting to get to him. So like the whole mask deal when he went to, it wasn't so much that he wore the mask as that he made a fucking campaign out of it. And I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I guess
What do you
so.
think
I've been doing this show. What's that?
What do you think people were thinking when that shit came out? Like, that was groundbreaking shit. And now we've got like literally a Watergate every day. Every time you wake up, there's a new Watergate. And back then there was like one Watergate. And everyone
but there was also 3 media sources. That was it. And now anybody can be a media source. That's,
which I like. Take the power away
yeah, I
from
do
the
too.
free. I like it.
I'm a free speech absolutist. Like I I don't care how racist you are. I think you should be able to say whatever it is that's on your
I
mind.
care how racist you are. Don't be racist at all.
Well, yes, that's my general philosophy. But if you're racist, fine. Say what you want to say, and in the market of ideas,
Don't be a racist.
generally, yeah. And generally, if you're a racist, nobody's gonna subscribe to your ideas, and
Right.
and you're just gonna be that crazy racist dude. But
Yeah.
when you make that opinion illegal, which is trying to be done very actively,
Yeah.
that's when you take somebody who has a thought, and it could be just a joke, just a you know a thought that comes to your head about say like an Asian driver or something like that, just anything cliche. Well, now that can get you canceled. You know what? The person who might have said that and now is canceled. Well, guess what? You just made him a white supremacist because he's like, oh, so all these crazies that are talking about how they want to shut up white voices. Oh, they're right, and so now he's on their side. So that's why I'm a free speech absolutist. Yeah. Say what you want to say, and as long as you can say it and you're not hurting anybody, like the market will decide on that shit.
Someone's at my front door right now.
Oh.
Nobody's
Is it
home.
Amanda?
I don't know. Hey, I gotta go.
All right, man.
Dang. Wait. Oh, shit. Yeah, I gotta go. My pizza order actually.
All right, man.
See you, buddy.
All right, later, man. All right, folks. Well, that's it for the bull session tonight. So, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you go check out all the sponsors. Follow Jesse Stetson on Instagram at Jesse Stetson. Loma Livestock on Instagram and Facebook. LomaLivestock.com. And thanks again for tuning in. I like it's been a good month for Burning Daylight. Month of July has been awesome. We were coming in on close to 7,000 downloads for the month, and it's awesome. It's a lot of fucking downloads. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Still not sure why you do, but appreciate it anyways. Keep doing that. If you're a new listener, I'm interested to know where you found out about it. So shoot me a message over at Burning Daylight on Facebook or any of the social medias at Move Your Ass for anywhere besides Facebook. And just shoot me a message. Tell me how you heard about the show. And yeah, appreciate you all tuning in. It's been a fun ride. So thanks again. And yeah, Move Your Ass. We're Burning Daylight.